Digital, baby. Digital deceiver shadows live in the mix. White socks. We don't chase clout, we chase truth. Now let's go. Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Monday morning? Thank you for getting up this early with me. If you are a member of the team, please hit the daily heart me. If not, stick around, and if you like what you see, hit the daily heart me. The one request I do always have is to like the live until you feel the heart's tail and then take a break every time I change a photo. And y'all know why. It's to make sure we don't get taken down and to make sure we end up on the For You feed. Good morning. Good morning. Today should be a pretty good show. We have 9 scammers that I'm going to talk about specifically. I have one that I'm going to show you has returned, and his bio tells you he's begging. And then we have a motivation for the day. And then I have some thoughts that I need to share. Some of you heard some of my thoughts last night. I'm not going to mince any words this morning either. So I hope that you guys had a great weekend. And if not, this is a brand new week. We put that in the past and we start going forward. So it's okay, Granny Annie. You know, anything that I talk about there is eventually going to come here. And everything I said last night, and I'm going to say this morning. A reminder, January the 31st is going to be a Digital After Dark at 8 p.m. And we will be discussing mods and enablers, but I'm not saying who's mods and enablers just yet. On Friday, I believe having a senior moment in Fallon did a live about Timmy's mods and enablers. It was good, very thorough. So he won't be on the list unless something major happens. But I have 4 other people in mind. I'm just not going to announce it yet because I don't want them to try to get prepared. Okay, let's see who is today. This is the grid for today. I'm going to talk about Caitlin and her nonsense, Tim and Angela. I have some thoughts. We got Kate. She has an update on her page, but don't ask her about it. Cody and her return. Christina and her nonsense. Timmy Nashi and his nonsense. Then a couple of people I haven't talked about in a minute are Sharonica, also known as Nika Bell, Sky Lynn, and something right there. And then Portia, because she has now, I shouldn't say she's been back for a second, but somebody else who feels like any little thing that happens or big thing that happens, TikTok is supposed to pay for it. I'm over it. So who do I want to start with? I'm going to start with Caitlin. Wait, I got one thing. Wait, okay, hold on. Caitlin, for some reason, likes to say my name. I don't know why. And I don't think I have her photo available. Wait, let me just check and see. Photo available. Wait, let me just check and see. Okay. Sorry for the intermission. So, for some reason, whenever something goes on and Kaiten is looking for a bad guy, she says Alley Cat, Scam Slam, or myself. Caitlin is the kind of person where everything that goes wrong in her life is somebody else's fault. And you know that's a big red flag for me. And it should be one for you too. Because you had your daughter, you neglected her. You then abandoned her and went to Texas instead of staying in Illinois and doing all the things the court required of you. But instead of her mods and enablers and supporters saying to her, well, okay, you left, and so you can't be mad about what's happened. Let's move forward. She said her aunt had something to do with it. If neglect wasn't found, it wouldn't matter what your aunt said. But she absolves herself of any wrongdoing whatsoever. Now, I gave Caitlin a break because I thought her return back to Illinois, the breakup with the boyfriend, the having to face potential eviction, um, having to face the fact that she lost custody, I decided to not discuss her. And as y'all know, I reached out to her because I felt like her mental health was on the decline. It didn't change the fact that she's a liar manipulator, but I thought, let me be kind, right? And so I decided that even though I was watching her nonsense, that I wouldn't feature her. But while we were talking the second time, instead of talking to me about her mental health, she went live. And I said to her, why are you going live while we're talking about your mental health? And I realized in that moment that this is all manipulation. I knew it was manipulation before. Like, oh, thank you for the gifts. You guys know they are appreciated, not mandatory. Thank you, Granny Annie, for giving me my flowers while I can still see them. I appreciate it. And good morning to the mods. She may have proud fire wife. She's now saying that she's facing a prison sentence, I think, of 10 years for abandonment and some other things. It's all manipulation of the people in her chat. If y'all remember when she was still down in Texas and she was standing outside acting terrified, saying she needed to run into the woods because he was going to attack her. And people are like, get in the car, lock the door. All of it was a lie. And she admitted to me in messages that it was a lie. Now, I could have come back to her chat and said, she's lying to y'all. But they wouldn't have believed me anyway. She didn't even want to clean up her apartment for a visitation. So I told y'all last time I talked about her, that she accused us of calling her landlord to get her evicted, even though before she got there and once she was there, she told her people over and over and over again that the landlord wanted her out. She never provided them any proof, none whatsoever, that anybody had even contacted her landlord. In fact, in the same conversation, she said somebody called, and then she said somebody emailed. Do y'all not listen to her since you are her biggest supporters? Y'all know she's lying and manipulating to you, and yet it doesn't matter. So the other day, let's find it. Her catfish mod, Sarah McGuire, goes in the live and tells her on Alley Cat's platform, on her page, her ex-boyfriend is in the comments. And then she says he's tired of the lies. Does she tell her where to go? No. Does she tell her what date the video is? No. She told you to just go there and find it. Does that sound like a friend to y'all? Because it doesn't sound like a friend to me. You know that Alley Cat posts her nonsense. If you want to do a little bit of a deep dive, go to Alley Cat's account. Shout out to Alley Cat. Why would you, if you believe that she's in this mental health crisis and that everything is collapsing around her, why would you send her on a wild goose chase to go look for comments from the ex-boyfriend without any clarity, no direction, nothing? And it's my opinion that she likes to watch her crash out. Because why else would you do that? And then she said he's tired of the lies. She didn't say it like, I know he's lying, but this is what he said. Or I can't believe he said. She put it just straight like that. He's tired of the lies. And when Caitlin was like, where is it? Alley Cat's account. Well, where is it? She said, you have to look for it. Okay, cool. The first video she opens, she sees my name, where I can't remember what Alley Cat posted, but I was like, my eyes are burning. And it's because she does inappropriate content on social media as a way to send them to her spicy whatever. And I said, my eyes are burning. Now, there was probably 25 comments, but she only said my name. Good morning to everybody coming in. Good morning. Make sure you like the live until you feel the heart's tale. Every time I change a photo, and if you're a member of the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, stick around, and if you like what you hear, hit the Daily Heart Me. So, I'm watching her. So I sent her a message on Instagram, and I say, stop bringing up my name. Because you're only doing it to manipulate the audience, to see me as the bad guy. And old Catfish here said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Catfish, do you really want my attention? Because I will give it to you. I will absolutely give it to you. And I promise you won't like it. I promise you won't like it. Because you are grown. Like, you aren't a girl her age with limited experience. You're not in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. You look like a grandmother, and that's no shade. I'm a grandmother. And you are on social media acting like a teenager. Would you send your daughter or son down a rabbit hole goose chase to try to find where their ex-boyfriend said something in a video? Why didn't you take a screenshot and send it to her? Because you are interested in watching the crash out. You're interested in having something to say that doesn't make Caitlyn look like a nutbag. You want to be able to have a conversation about somebody else rather than Caitlyn's behavior. Oh, that's why I call her the catfish. The catfish mod. That's my term for her now. She is the catfish mod. I have a warning for Caitlyn. This was a couple of days ago. There was an Illinois man charged with running a hacking scheme that targeted nearly 600 women on Snapchat. He acted like he was an administrator from Snapchat and was able to convince victims to give security codes and the like. And then he got their nudes and either sold them or traded them with other weirdos. So all you girls sending men to your your Snapchat so they could buy your spicy photos, may I suggest you go to a more secure location? Because Snapchat isn't it. Because that's not what Snapchat was created for. Okay? Caitlyn? All you spicy creators that are trying to use every social media? So I told her to stop saying my name, and she was like, well, you say my name. And I was like, but you are putting me out there without any context whatsoever. You have lied about me, told me. This was the other thing. She's messaging me, can we be friends? Can we just bury the hatchet? Can we just this? Can we just that? But then on her live is accusing me of doing things I've never done and never would do. You don't get to defame my character without consequence. So while she's talking big shit in her chat, she's texting me on the back end, and I said, you know what? Why should she have access to me? To tell me the truth on Instagram, but lie to her audience on TikTok. So I blocked her. 100% blocked her. You're not going to be able to try to make it up with me and lie and manipulate and everything else. Talk about how bad your life is and then come back to your chat and talk big shit. So now you're back on the grid 100%, and any of your mods and enablers can get one too. Okay? But when talking about me goes nowhere, she then says, my grandmother isn't speaking to me. And of course, immediately the chatter like, why? What happened? What's wrong? And at first she's like, I don't know. Then she says, my grandmother just texted me, and I can't remember what she said, if she said an essay or a book or whatever. And the grandmother was basically like, I want my money. So she gave Caitlin money. And we know Caitlin is making money because she's buying whatever she wants. And I'm not talking coffee creamer to celebrate the day. She's buying expensive electronics. So I'm sure your grandmother is like, well, you spend money on what you want to spend money on. I want my money back. And that sounds reasonable, no? But then she said that her grandmother said, we saw her daughter's foster family. And she was like, I know that. My parents called me and told me. And she was like, they're making fun of me. And immediately, without hesitation, because there was only about 6 or 7 people in there, so it wasn't a big audience by any means. They're immediately like, oh my God, block her, don't talk. You have, again, no proof. The word of somebody who has consistently lied to you. Wait, what's going on in the comments? Oh, well, that's okay if she's a Kate mod. That is okay. Let her be here so that she can hear the other side. Because right now, she's only hearing Kate's side. Let her be here. That's exactly who I want here. Because I want you to be able to go back and tell people the truth. And not just the side that Kate is giving them. Correct. We've all got here somehow. And she is manipulating y'all. She says stuff and never shows you proof of it. Never. And if Sarah McGuire was a good friend, why would you send her to an account that you know features her and just send her on a wild goose chase? Down a rabbit hole without any direction. Just to say, so what? Her ex is under Alley Cat's comments. So what? Y'all don't believe what he says anyway, right? So why send her down there? It is mean and mean-spirited when you believe that somebody is in a mental health crisis to send them somewhere that you know is going to bother them. But that's exactly what, and Sarah, let y'all know, Andrea, I know you know, I call her the catfish mod. Because you try to make that up. Oh, Echo, stop. You know that that's going to hurt her. And yet you have no problem sending her here. You are a grown woman playing with a little girl's feelings. And I don't mean she's actually a little girl. I mean in comparison. When she told y'all that I, Scam Slam, or Alley Cat called and or emailed her landlord, did she show you any proof of that? But if you remember, before she left Texas, she said one of the reasons why she had to come back was because of the landlord in her apartment. She didn't come back for her daughter. She didn't come, and she also had to come back because she had court to face. And yet, it's everybody else's fault. Everything about her, it's the boyfriend's fault. It's his family's fault. It's her family's fault. It's her aunt's fault. It's my fault. When does Caitlyn ever take accountability for the decisions and the actions that she made? Correct. The apartment. Not the child. Because if getting her child back was important, she would have stayed in Illinois, done all of the things the court required of her before leaving to go jump to some man and live off him. Never got a job while she was there, never did anything. She relied on her monthly check. And even now, she goes online from the top of the morning, sometimes almost all night long, with nothing of quality to say. Literally to just complain. While she is selling spicy content other places. Are you really that depressed? Are you really that hard up? I don't think so. Ask her what she thinks she's done wrong. She'll probably come up with one or two things, but I guarantee she will pivot to what somebody else did wrong to her. Good morning and welcome in. Let me show the person I'm talking about. Yes, she's been doing this for a long time. This is who we're discussing. She's been doing this a very long time. And half the time she comes on, she's crying, she's upset, the world is mistreating her. Is she seeking therapy? She blocked you yesterday, I'm not surprised. I blocked her on Instagram because she's telling y'all one thing in the chat and telling me something different in Instagram. She's saying, can we be friends? She said, I didn't say it was you. I said it could be you. Now, as a mod, when you hear that you think that I or anybody else contact her landlord to get evicted, do you have a positive view of me or a negative view of me? I'll answer for myself. You're going to have a negative view of me. What she never tells y'all is that I've been talking to her behind the scenes, encouraging her, suggesting that she get therapy, telling her that she's smart and beautiful and she doesn't have to put up with nonsense. Of course, Jody. But at the same time, suggesting to her audience that I'm a bad person. Well, Kate, you might have wanted off the grid. You leaped back on. And you're going to stay on until you stop this ridiculous behavior. Anybody in here who may not have heard me say it, I'm going to say it again. She used to. I don't think she has since she's been back in Illinois because she's so busy trying to prove something. But when she was in Texas all the time, how you think she got back from Texas to Illinois? A Law and Order gavel. That's hilarious. How do you think she got back to Illinois? She went live one night. First said that her boyfriend broke up with her and she was devastated and that she was afraid. And she literally stayed in the garage where they lived. The boyfriend was in the parents' house and she's sneaking around like, I gotta get out of here. I can't believe he broke up with me. I gotta get out of here and I don't have anywhere to go and I'm afraid. And then she walks into the house where the boyfriend is because she needed to use the bathroom. And she's standing at the door looking around like something's going to happen to me. And everybody who supports her were losing their minds. Nothing happened. Not a single thing happened. And then she calls the police. But anytime it was something of importance, she muted. That is always suspect. Because anytime anybody's going to say anything that refutes what she's saying, she muted. Even when she went in the house, everybody is like, stay live so that we can make sure you're okay. And she muted. Because there was nothing negative going on. Even when the cops came, he didn't sound irate or upset. And the cops took her to the jail because she says, I have to get out of here. She sat at the jail all night and her chat bought her a ticket back to Illinois. But when she got back to Illinois, she went back to a Mac laptop, headphones, an Apple Watch. She brought her family electronics for Christmas, bought herself an Xbox for Christmas. Her apartment is adorable. But she always has to have somebody to blame for everything. Everybody knows that your daughter is with a foster family. Why would your grandmother tease you about that? Does anybody stop for a second and think? Why would your grandmother tease you about that? Or your mother, for that matter. Mind you, we saw you with your daughter. And when I saw her with her daughter, I went right into her chat and said, that's beautiful. I'm happy you got to spend time with her. But then later on, didn't feel like cleaning up for the visit. And then if she doesn't get to see her, she cries to her chat, they're keeping her from me, blah, blah, blah. Now she's telling them that she's facing 10 years. Has she shown you proof of that? Has she shown proof that that's even what she's facing? I bet you she hasn't. I bet you she hasn't. Because she's not a proof shower. She just says whatever to make herself look sad and pathetic and you need to have empathy for her. Girl, all the empathy in the world, I'm sorry guys, all the empathy in the world doesn't refute fact. It is public record, but what I'm saying is, has she shown it to anybody? She doesn't show proof of anything. She even complained about her parents and her grandmother, claiming the grandmother sent a text message, right? Then she said what it said. Then she said, let me read it to y'all. And then didn't read it. And then didn't read it. So which one is it, Kate? If anybody wants to see a concise deep dive, all you got to do is go to Alley Cat's account. It's all there. Well, as much of it as could be is all there. You need to get away from your catfish mod. She's not helping you. Okay, who's next? Oh, Wesley is back. Same account, different name. Shaved head, no longer a Jesus. Oh, he was a beggar. And even when one of my issues with him is that he lied and said he couldn't get EBT because he was homeless. And I proved over and over and over again that he could get EBT as homeless. And not only that, in California, you can use your EBT at restaurants because of being homeless. You don't have anywhere to cook. He lied to his audience. He had people hating me because I was telling the truth. And lo and behold, guess what he ended up with? EBT as a homeless person. He said that All for One was just a joke. And All for One put him in touch with people that eventually housed him. And now he's back on the street. And back to begging. Let me show you. Look at the bio. It says, help with my room, please. And his payment apps. So if you're going to come back, sir, the grid is open. I just happened to catch it, but I didn't take any notes. So I said, well, let me just let everybody know he's back and what account he's back on so that y'all can see it. Listen, they all say All for One is a bad guy. Stella says that everything on his resource link tree is paid. That's not true. There are work from home websites that give you like a free trial, and then you have to pay to continue to get access to work from home jobs. But that's not everything. He did used to crash out. Then you know what, Puppy Power? Get another one. Good morning, MLA. Welcome in. Gabrielle, that's not what it is. It's not that you. First of all, do y'all remember recruitment agencies? How do you think they made their money? They got paid by companies to recruit. This website goes out and researches and finds available work from home jobs. Now, you could do all that research yourself for free, and it would take time. This website shows you exactly who they are. And so they've made a business out of doing the research for you, and you have to pay for it. That's all that is. And if you don't want to pay for it, then do the research yourself. It's not mandatory. Okay, who's next? Might as well get cake out the way, because why not? So she's still upset because people keep saying we saw you smoke crack on live. And she gets so frustrated, she ends the live and comes back. One of her enablers or mods is a nurse. I don't care what kind of nurse you are familiar with how healthcare works. You are familiar with what lymphedema looks like. Either you are afraid of getting blocked for telling the truth, so you run with the lie, or you have no integrity. It's one or the other. Because when she claimed that the doctor didn't prick her finger, she kept saying the A1C. What she meant was her current blood sugar. As a diabetic, you would have been given your own machine to test your blood sugar multiple times a day. As a diabetic, you wouldn't drink as much alcohol as you do if you are concerned about your numbers. When you call a doctor's office and make an appointment and it's a follow-up or a first patient visit, they don't do everything. And you know that as a nurse. And yet you sit silent. You correct nothing. Where is your integrity? Like, why is a stranger on TikTok more important than your integrity? Can somebody make sense of that to me? You don't know her from Adam. And yet, because she's pulling numbers, you would rather be there than have your integrity intact? As a nurse? It blew me away. How, as a nurse, can you continue to sit there when you know she smoked crack? I show proof. And if I have to pull a video, I absolutely will. We saw it as a reflection in the window. You don't have it. Let's say it was the devil's lettuce. If you light it and you're passing it back and forth, you don't have to keep lighting it every few seconds. But you do with crack. We watched it. Thank you for the gifts. They're not expected, but they are appreciated. You can sit, and then to say, I've never seen crack before, girl, you've at least seen it on Google. You've at least seen it on a movie. She has her chat believing she doesn't have any medical insurance, but she has EBT. Make that make sense. You mean to tell me that the person who signed you up for food stamps didn't ask if you need medical insurance? Of course they did. It's the same application. It's the same application. And she can't work because of her leg. She might even qualify for cash assistance because she's disabled. You know that as a disabled person, before you get Social Security, especially somebody not working, you can get local state cash assistance, right? Correct, Jody. And in her recent medical visits, she was going to the ER, but she never raised money for an ER bill. I'm gonna mention this later, but who's gonna pay Angela's hospital visit if they don't have insurance? Anybody? But I'll save that for later. So this one raised $50 as her medical copay. You have no job. You have a legitimate disability, at least for now. It could get fixed. You just refuse to do it. You refuse to follow through. She raised money for an Uber there and an Uber back. Mind you, on Medicaid will take you to your appointments. She didn't need any of that money. She doesn't have a Medicaid copay because she doesn't work and she's homeless. There is no Medicaid. And then when people were like, you should go for Social Security, she actually said, what's $900? What's $900? $900 is 900 more than you have when you wake up every day. But either she's been denied or she knows she's going to be denied because she isn't seeking treatment for her problem. So she goes to this office visit. They take one look at her leg and make a referral. Now the question is, did they ask? So she was complaining about her A1C. And people were like, well, did they give you a referral for blood work? It's nobody's business. They made her a referral to an orthopedic surgeon. She's mad about it. Well, you need that referral to see the orthopedic surgeon. Let's see if she makes the appointment. Or if she goes, because I haven't heard any more about it. But you can't smoke crack and have a planned surgery. So, is that really the issue? Is our habit the issue? See, she used to stand on the corner with a sign. And then she found her way to TikTok. And to me, she's the new Maggie, except she wants her room paid every day. She wants DoorDash every day. But she did something interesting. Let me show y'all. She updated her GFM. It was 8,000 and now it's 9,000. And how did I know she updated it? Because I didn't go look. She made a video where she said, please go to my GFM. I really need the help. And I was like, that's a new video. Why? Why does she update? She upped it by $1,000. Now she tried to lie and say that GFM takes most of the money. I've already proven to y'all that that's not the case. If you don't believe me, just look it up. There's a percentage that's taken out, but it's certainly not a TikTok percentage. So that means, let's say they took $500 of the total. That means she's gotten $7,500 directly to her payment app. And she's gotten several hundred since the last time I saw it. Because it was like 7,700 or 7,600. And I remember saying to her, oh my God, you've gotten almost all of your goal. And she was like, who cares about that? Shouldn't you? Oh, little bit, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. May he rest in peace. And may your mother find the peace and the strength to get through it. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you'll be able to go back and spend some time with your family. You were in my prayers Friday night. You and your mother. He is no longer in pain. He is no longer hurting. And as much as you're hurting, there is solace in knowing that. I sincerely apologize. Yo, we gotta, I need to go, let me see something. I'm gonna schedule the lighthouse with Dee Dee probably next week. Probably, yeah, Texas. She does do that. Probably next Wednesday evening, but I'll let you guys know the date for sure. We're all going through something, unfortunately. If you haven't followed that account, the name literally is The Lighthouse W Dee Dee. The Lighthouse with Dee Dee. And over there, we're going to talk about mental health, mental illness, just being down, depressed, whatever. As a support group, I'm not a professional. This is a peer-to-peer support group. That's it. We won't be talking about scammers and beggars and all of that. It will strictly focus on mental health. So if you haven't followed the account, follow it so that we can go live. It's pinned. So I'm sorry. Okay. Back to Veronica. She says help Veronica heal, but she just gets the money and uses it immediately. And when I originally asked her about it, she said, I said, my response was, oh my God, you've almost reached your goal. And she was like, that's not my goal. My goal is 20 grand. So why isn't that the goal on here? If your goal is to get 20 grand, why isn't that the goal? as she has said, she wants a house or an apartment. And she literally wants it handed to her. My question is, once you get the apartment, how will you afford the apartment? She actually teases people who live in their mama's basement. You live in a hotel that you pay for by the day. But see, any situation she can't be in, she makes it sound like you are less than her. How? You stand on the street with a sign. You refuse to get medical care. You drink like a lush every day. Listen, when you have to drink to get rid of your hangover headache, and drinking makes you feel better, that's not a normal consumption of alcohol. How are you better than anybody else? Because, like my father used to say to me, nobody is better than me, but I'm no better than anybody else. And I'm not going to allow anybody to make me feel like they're better than me. So, why do you feel like you're better than anybody else? But you quietly upped the amount of your GFM. You made a video about it, sending people to the GFM to donate. And then every time somebody comes in and says, I saw your GFM, or how is your GFM going? She's like, why are y'all worried about it? And the mods and the enablers are like, oh my God, why are they bringing it up? Help me understand. You want people to donate to it, and yet you don't want people to talk about it? You made a video, and literally anybody who brings it up gets blocked. What is the point? I know, lumpy pillows. But my thing is this: why wouldn't you say, I have a GFM? Or when people ask about it, say, yes, I do. And if you'd like to donate, like, why are you mad that people bring it up? And then she treats it like we're in her business. I have never in my life, and maybe it's because I choose who I'm around carefully, and I had a sheltered upbringing. I have never in my life been around a group of people who go along with just anything. And they're mad at people who call out the bad behavior. I have never in my life. Is it because it makes you feel more powerful in your life? Is it because you want whatever skeletons you have in your closet to be okay? So you have to make everything she does okay? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you could support somebody who is mean and nasty for no reason and still demanding money. You're lying about your condition. Anybody who says it's something else, you say they're lying. Girl, we've seen your leg. We know what it looks like. You may have fallen and broke your foot, but that has nothing to do with the lymphedema. Nothing. She uses her entire leg and her foot in particular as the reason why she can't work. If you can stand on the street corner all day and into the night when you need money, you can work. You could be a secretary and sit up behind the desk all day and get up when you need to and sit down when you need to. There are many jobs that would allow her to sit. Most places have an accommodation. She could. She can't smoke crack there though. She can't get up when she feels like it. She can't drink when she feels like it. Who wants to go to work when I could just beg for the money? And then I don't have to report the money because it's all gifts into her pocket. I am Ace T minor Fin. I, first of all, empathize and I understand. Do you do anything to work on your lymphedema or do you just let it sit out there? Do you lie to people about your lymphedema? Needham, Florida, yes, but who does she have to report it to? Pinky promise, maybe. She lies about hers. Wow, whoever came in as Fly on the Wall, I love that name. Where is she? She is always yelling, always angry, comes live morning, noon, and night. She wants her room paid for, but never shows herself paying it and never shows a receipt. She then wants DoorDash because she wants to eat good. She even told people where she was, what street she was on in Memphis, and was like, if you're cooking, you can bring me a plate. And then said, let me stop telling people where I am. I'm sorry, all behavior isn't acceptable. Okay, who do I want to do next? I'm actually going to do them next. Who knew it that turning in the paperwork at the last second wasn't going to result in getting your EBT in the morning? I didn't say that, did I? Did I say it usually takes them more than because they're busy and they got other people to redetermine? I think I said that on Friday. And sure enough, it didn't happen. And they were back on. Now, I'm going to skip a couple of things. But last night, He came on from the car to tell us that Angela was in pain and they were concerned because it went from one area to another, like it got progressively worse. So he took her to the ER. Now, if it's truly an emergency, the ER is where you're supposed to go. But you still want me to believe they don't have medical insurance? They're just going to the town clinic for free? I don't buy it. Little bit. What do you want the box for? Just because I have a train of thought, I don't want to go. Okay, I'll show people the grid. Somebody asked to see the grid, so come on up. Good morning. Again, my condolences, my dear.
Thank you. I won't take long. I can't be in here long, but I know how wonderful of a person you are, and I just wanted to ask everybody for some prayers for my family, especially for my mom, because my dad passed away last night, and I just wanted to ask for some prayers. I know how wonderful you are when it comes to that, and how wonderful everybody in here is.
Of course, we're going to pray for you and your mom and your family. I prayed for y'all Friday night. I
Thank
don't
you.
I told you I would and I did. I'm so sorry. You must not have been in here because we talked about it, but I was saying to you that he's no longer in pain, he's no longer hurting. And as hard as it is, you have to find solace in that. He
I
let
am.
his life course, and now it's just about getting to the other side. Are you gonna go be with your family during this time?
I'm not sure what's going to go on. I haven't even talked to my mom yet. I'm going to call her later on today because I just wanted to make sure that she was able to get some rest, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what is going to happen as far as any kind of funeral or memorial or anything, because I think he was going to be cremated and then my mom was going to put his ashes up in Tennessee where his mom and dad are buried. And
Okay.
um I'm just more mad because the last time I got to see him was about 3 years ago when me and my daughter went down there because my mom called and said we needed to get down because he was progressing. He had Parkinson's with dementia and he was progressing a lot faster than he should have been. And um I just want to make sure she gets some rest today, but I'm not sure what's going to happen as far as funeral.
Hold on one second. So you're out. How dare you be that rude?
It's
How
fine. People are how they are, but
how rude. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
No, you are in the midst of a pain that only happens when it's apparent. And so I am so, so, so sorry, my dear.
I'm sorry to come up and interrupt
That's
talking
okay.
about everybody, but I just
Her
wanted
father passed away.
I just wanted to pop in and ask for your prayers because like I said, I know what a wonderful person you are
Thank you, little bit. I
and
appreciate it.
that how wonderful a lot of the people are in this community that you have, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Okay. Listen
But
to me. Um, send me a message with your Instagram on it. You have Instagram?
um yes.
Send me your Instagram and I'm gonna give you a call a little bit later on through Instagram, okay?
Okay.
All right, honey.
All right.
Pray
Well,
and maintain, and I'll give you a call a little bit later. After I'll give you some time to talk to your mother first.
okay.
Okay? Please take it easy. Everything that has to happen can wait.
Yeah. Um thank you. But
You're welcome, honey.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and jump down now. I just wanted to, like I said, ask for that. But
Sure, of
but
course.
thank you everybody in the chat for your condolences. I really appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump down.
Okay, honey.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Dee Dee. I love you.
I love you too, a little bit.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. I'm sorry. I thought she was in here before. How dare somebody say boo hoo and think they're going to be in here? Anybody who is a prayer warrior, please pray for her and her mother. It is, Anita. You do not appreciate it until it happens to you. You can empathize with somebody. Like, I know that must be painful. It's nothing like it. I feel like an orphan now because I've lost both of my parents. There's nothing like it. Thank you guys for being so supportive. I appreciate it. Okay, that's the grid for today. We've already done Cakes and Caitlin, and I was on Tim and Angela. People are just ridiculous. So last night, he came live in the car outside of the ER to say that she was in the ER, whatever. And I asked I said, Mister, if I was in the ER, would you come outside and go live to tell everybody in the live that I was in the ER? And he was like, no, I'd be in the ER with you. I wouldn't want to miss the doctor or a nurse or just make sure that if something happens, I could tell somebody. He was like, why would I go live? Why did you go live, Tim? What was the point? You had no information yet other than she was sick and you brought her to the ER. And you started with the story about how a man went to the ER with chest pain. They told him he was okay, sent him back into the lobby, and he had a heart attack and passed away. Why would you even put that out in the universe while your wife is in said ER? Like, do we look stupid? We all know that that was a prelude to the next beg, because on Tuesday, they're going to need their room paid for a week. So y'all gear up, because now that she's gotten out of the ER, she's going to need a place to rest. Now, I'm not making fun of the fact that she had to go to ER. I just don't know any man of quality that would leave the ER to go live on TikTok before you even know what's wrong, before you even know if she's going to be sent home or made inpatient. And when I see somebody be that conniving, to be that, what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulative. I'm sorry. I have a very low view of you now. Like, it was already low, but now I feel like the getting the job for 5 minutes is just that. Now, the other day, she was on and talked about how she couldn't work. She couldn't stand for a long time. So how did you do at McDonald's? The job you claim you loved that TikTok took away from you. And I am still waiting for you to provide proof that TikTok or anybody on social media had anything to do with your firing. You said it was in her separation letter. I didn't make that up. You said it, Timothy. And when I got in your box, because you put a false jacket on me and said that I called your hotel, like, why do they think they could just say this stuff? And I got in your box. I said to you, I worked in HR for many years. When you are under 90 days, most companies will just say, we're separating. Because anything they put in a separation note can be used at your unemployment hearing, which they never qualified for anyway. So you told your people in her separation letter, it said that you were separate, you were fired because of a call from TikTok. Show the letter, or I never want to hear about McDonald's again. Prove it. You have however many people in your life believing that somebody was so mean on TikTok, they got you fired, but you have never shown proof. And then you take a moment of your wife's weakness to go into your car and go live and talk about it. And then, of course, they will probably be outraged that this morning I even brought it up. But I know you're clocking me still, Angela, because you said something about somebody getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to talk about you. You might as well just say my name, boo. Because who else gets up at 6 in the morning? Mind you, it's 6:30. Get it right. If you're going to say it, get it right. I sure do. I absolutely have you back on the grid. When you weren't on here begging, you weren't on the grid. But when you're not begging, you have no other reason to be live. Unless there's a new reason to beg. I bet you any amount of money their hotel room gets paid for 2 weeks off of this. Straight up. Because she needs a place to rest. And of course now, it could have been a gas bubble. It could be anything. This is going to be why they need money for the room. Why he can't go out and work because he has to watch her. Why he has to be there because of the dog. Why she can't look for a job now because she's sick. I agree, Granny Annie, or it'll be a new account. We know they watch. So I'm going to shift for a second. And I talked about this last night, but I'm going to shift for a second. The other day, because we know without us, they only have the beg, right? So it's either about begging for money or using us as an excuse for why they need to beg for money. Because we as a collective are bad people. But what they also do, motion detected at front door. What they also do is utilize any behavior in the community as an excuse to prove why we are all bad. Sorry, guys. I thought this was downloaded. It wasn't. And I want to make it clear that these are my thoughts. So he brought up something that has happened on TikTok between a few people who used to be a crew. Why we do things to give them content, I'll never understand. But that's besides the point. I'm just going to say what I have to say. So on Friday, after my live, I went into Anonymous's live and saw proof that Top 4 Ways doxed Anonymous and Anonymous Eyes, date of birth, full name, and social security number. One of them alleges that their credit report has already took a hit. There aren't any circumstances on the planet, none, why it would be acceptable to dox somebody to that extent. I don't care what it was. I don't care if you are no longer friends. You don't have to like everybody, and everybody doesn't have to like you. Now, let me be clear. I don't care where you sit. It's your choice. But if you find it acceptable that somebody doxes people's information, putting their life and their family and their financial future at risk, I don't know that I want you here. And I saw the proof with my own eyes. I'm going to stand on business on this one. What Top Four Ways did is disgusting. It's deplorable. And unless it has happened, I've heard of no apology. Not that an apology would even matter. See, I remember somebody a long time saying that as humans, we have a moral contract to do no harm. And when morality isn't in place, there are laws that say what is acceptable and what isn't. So we know that unaliving someone is bad. And for people who don't hold that line of thinking, there is jail or the unaliving penalty. And so doxing somebody's personal information is also against the law for people who do not recognize that their moral code should tell them not to do that. Period. Full stop. If you don't, we are born with an innate understanding of right and wrong. We are taught later that something that is innately wrong, we can justify. We're not born that way. We're not born racist. We're not born haters. We're not born liars. Life teaches us that those things are okay. But we have a moral contract to do no harm, like a doctor does. And when you violate that moral code, the laws tell you what is okay and what isn't. So to break the law, to get back at somebody because y'all are no longer in cahoots, is crazy to me. And then by doing that, you have given the scammers the excuse that see what they would do to each other, imagine what they would do to us. Imagine what they would do to us if that is what they will do with each other. It makes sense how you got her car payment information. It makes sense that you knew every hotel she was in. It makes sense that you were able to get information from her school. You have no boundaries. And that's a scary place. I no longer can say with confidence that none of us go real life. Because it's no realer than somebody's social security number. And apparently, that whole sending a penny, a dollar, whatever it was to Jordan, and then doing a chargeback and her getting a $30 fee. Not only did she do it and then brag about doing it, she did it in Anonymous's name. on one of the accounts. Apparently, she did it on multiple accounts, one being her own and one that she created in Anonymous's name. Are you trying to also get her in trouble legally? Just because we don't like what the scammers do doesn't give us license to try to ruin their lives. We're trying to get them to make better decisions, to get a job, to take care of themselves, not to harm them further. We're trying to convince people that put your money to better use because a beggar has no end point. A beggar is going to beg as long as they have breath in their body and a social media app to do it on. Look at Kate. She got the $8,000 and added another 1,000. On top of the fact that she gets her room paid for every day and gets food. So what does she need the other 1,000 for? And it's going to trickle in the way I thought when you reach the limit, that's when you got the money. No, you get the money every 2 to 5 days. So if somebody sends 100 in 2 to 5 days, she'll get about $98. So I'm standing on business on this one. And I don't care who doesn't like it. Because if you find that behavior acceptable, guess what? Don't be here. I don't care. You don't have to like me. You know what I say about not liking me. If you don't fund me, fuck me, or feed me, your opinion of me doesn't matter. But that is too far. Under any circumstances, that is too far. That's that's illegal. Like, let's just go. It's illegal to do that. So please protect yourselves. Just because somebody says they're your friend doesn't mean that they will always be your friend. Stop giving people your personal information. Do you notice I don't ever ask anybody for a phone number? I'll talk to you on Instagram. I don't want anything personal about you because I'm not going to give you anything personal about me. But in this case, you didn't have to tell her. She was able to utilize somebody to get it. And no, she doesn't need to be in here to defend herself because there's no defense. There is no defense. You have actually made Jordan Paul look more rational. You have made what she said about you and your crew more true than her lies about working. Make that make sense. You teach Sheena how to get off of rewatch so people can't watch her later, but then stream her on your account. No, JJ. And it's a lot of money. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm standing on business. Let me say it one more time. If you find doxing somebody's full name, date of birth, and social security number on a social media platform, whether it's a scammer, somebody within the tent, a friend, an ex, anything, please block me and never come in here again. I want no parts of it. And I feel bad for them. They even apologized to me because they were like, we didn't know anything about you. We just took her word for it and hated you too. Why she hates me, I don't even understand. I've had no interaction. So why to convince other people to hate me doesn't make any sense. I have an idea, but I'm not sure. Hello, Eyes. Welcome in. Please, y'all, think about how you move before you move. Because the decisions you make could have dire consequences for other people. And even if, in the end, you just get a slap on the wrist, you have to live with yourself and what you've done. I wouldn't want to be you for all the money in the world. But over here, I'm going to still do me. I'm going to continue to bring to light the scamming that happens on this app. There will be no real life over here for me, nor anybody that I support. None. And if I find out that you go real life, I don't care if it is a scammer, beggar, liar, manipulator, will be done. Now, thank you very much for the support, guys. It's appreciated. So what did Tim and Angela do with this information? Which either means we have a flip-flopper in our midst, and I mean within the entire tent, or they're watching us this closely. But he used it to talk about what bad people we are. And see, he even said her name. But what's going to happen is he's going to eventually, and the other scammers are too, they're eventually going to morph it into a they. They do this and they do that. And it's funny because I stopped using awareness and started saying raising the consciousness November of 2024. Because I said that what is done in the name of awareness, I don't rock with. Had nothing to do with money, had nothing to do with another person in particular. I just found that some of the behavior under that label wasn't conducive to where I wanted to go. And this is a prime example. But all of us will get lumped in the same boat by people like Tim and Angela to convince their audience that we are the worst of the worst, knowing that most of us would never go that far. Not even for a scammer, nonetheless, somebody else we consider the best friend. And I hate to say that it's money driven, because I don't know that to be the reality. But there is something hateful inside that allows that to happen. And now, unfortunately, the entire community, right, wrong, or indifferent, are going to have to live with the consequences of that action. And Tim and Angela, and even Jordan, and probably Sheena, and probably all the rest of them who are made aware of this, are going to use it. Just like they used Rizzy when none of them had ever seen her or heard her before. They're going to use this circumstance to say, see what they do, see how they are, don't believe them. While he manipulates his people by going live while she's in the ER. Why are you out? You don't smoke? It's not like you needed an outside break. You literally came live so that you could tell people what was going on. You could have done that this morning. But no, you saw it as an opportunity. You saw your wife being ill in the ER as an opportunity to come to TikTok and cry about it so that they are forewarned, so that when it's time, you can use it as an excuse. That is sick to me. And of course, the people in the audience didn't realize it because they were more focused on her health than he was. They're more concerned about her well-being than he was. He could have went live in the ER. But you can't risk that because a nurse or a doctor may come in and we would hear something they don't want us to know. So outside he went. And as I said, I asked Mr. if he would ever do that. And I said it like, hey, if I was ever in the ER, would you ever come outside and go live? He was like, what? No. Oh, he eventually asked for gas money in the car? I don't know for sure. And now I'm seeing that people ask questions he wasn't willing to do. Of course he did, Kim B. Of course, listen. I would be so far up Mister's butt. I would be like, and so these are his symptoms. I've already looked these up. Could these be the possibilities? Can we do this test and that test? What? TikTok would be the last thing on my mind. Lisa, they could have, but he said he was going back inside. But and Mary Jane, your little mod that used to mod for other people, you scare no one. I don't know why you get off on modding for people. Like, why does that make you feel powerful? You get nothing for it. Because Lord knows they're not sending you a single gift. But I love how they mod and then they go private. Yet she likes to hang out with scammers. Again, it makes her feel powerful somehow. But I see you. And we love to call those out. January the 31st. She'll be on the list. I can tell you that. He was complaining about money, and I didn't write down why. But I said, the nerve of you to complain about money when you have been able to live damn near a year without working is crazy. I think he was complaining about people getting gifts. I think that's what he was complaining about, if I can remember. Sir, people have been sending money directly to your payment apps for at least a year on TikTok. You was also doing it on Facebook before that. How can you complain about anybody getting anything when your entire life has been covered by other people? Let me suggest that you pipe down about that. Talk about it when you're not asking other people to fund your life. All I know is that today he said if the EBT wasn't in, he was going to go to the office. Well, how are you going to do that if you need gas, sir? And I don't even know if those offices accept walk-ins anymore. Maybe they do. I don't know. But what I also know is that come Tuesday morning, they're going to have to pack up and get out. They do there? Okay, Tishy Wishy. I just wasn't sure. Oh, Gypsy, the big beautiful bill that just passed, everywhere is going to be that way. It's federal law now. Lisa Marie, that's what I said a little while ago. Believe it if you want to. And they've upped the age. Before it was like 54 and you didn't have to work. Now it's what, 60, 65, something like that? Kelly Givens for what? They lied about cancer. Have you ever heard her have a seizure while they were online? Has he ever had to get offline because she had a seizure? Ever. Convenient that her seizures never happen while she's online. Billy Austin, I agree with you. The same with Timmy Nash. You have this debilitating disease, and yet we have never seen it. And I'm not saying you have to do it online to prove that you have it, but we're talking about people who are online for hours, multiple days out of the week. They always report it after the fact, but it never happens while they're online. Yeah, Tushy Wishy. That's why she goes to the gym to hang out. It's just all too convenient for me. Correct. They just want to lay around on somebody else's dime. I'm better than Ricky. You make a very good point. Yeah, we gonna get to Timmy in a second. They have diabetes. Skylin took a week off from TikTok on her main account. I now have to preface that because I realize so many of them have multiple accounts that they go live on. But she went from the 3rd to the 10th and wasn't on this account. On the 3rd, she was in the lobby of a hotel room claiming that a friend told her she could stay there and then didn't answer. And now she thinks it was her ex-boyfriend. If it was your friend, you didn't recognize the number, you didn't talk to them. Like, it doesn't make sense. But on the 10th, she comes live and she looks like she's inside of a garage. Or like what's the word I'm looking for? An unfinished dwelling of sorts. It could have been like a man cave, but it was unfinished and it looked like a garage because there was stuff everywhere. But it looked like the kind of garage, like it had chairs in it and stuff like that. Now, she often keeps the camera very close to her face. And all of a sudden, you hear a man's voice. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes live saying very little, but suddenly she's on something moving. And at first I thought she was on her skateboard. Then I thought, is she on skates? And then later on realized it was an electric bicycle. Seemed like she was sitting on the front and he was riding. Why? What are you showing us? Like, why is that content? You're not saying anything. We're just hearing this bike move and we're seeing you go down the road. Okay. They get to their destination, which it didn't take very long. And he goes one way. She kind of is sitting there. And then she explains to us that she's at a hotel. Okay. They're in the office. And so, lo and behold, the gentleman was in the office to ask for another key to his room because his wife won't let him in. I wonder why. Well, then she told us that the wife doesn't like her. Again, I wonder why. And then she said he was going in to get another electric bike and he was going to give it to her. Was that his wife's electric bike he was going to give to you? Now, I want to bring up one other point. She still doesn't have the dogs. But when she's asked about getting a job, she says, I don't know what to do with the dogs during the day. But every time I turn around, you don't have the dogs. So she waits for him to come out. He gets the key. He goes to the room. He comes back out. And he says to her, oh, she's asleep. So I stole the keys to the car. Somebody want to make sense of this to me? Because it doesn't make sense to me at all. And then she takes the bike and rides it back to the unfinished dwelling, which looked like a garage. And is now talking to what sounds like a completely different man. But Skylin will have you believe that she's this lonely, isolated woman with nobody and nothing. So her origin story used to be that her boyfriend brought her back to her hometown, dropped her off, and left her to go be with his ex-girlfriend. So you think that that was her origin story to being homeless in Utah? Because they had agreed to be homeless, but like do van living. So she was pre-homeless before Utah, but she considers that a choice. Her now origin story is that her mother kicked her out because she didn't get along with her mom's boyfriend. Mind you, the origin story of the ex-boyfriend is 2 years old. And she's still using it to get money. She's still using him for sympathy. Talking about how he calls her and tells her while he's sleeping with his new girlfriend, he's thinking about her. But when you tell her to block him, she still has hope. Hope for what? Why would you even want him back? But now it's her mama. And her grandmother has passed away. Rest in peace to her grandmother. And condolences to her and her family. But her mother won't let her come to the house. And her mother won't let her help pack up. I won't say all, but most families, especially at a time like that, either blow apart or coalesce together. There is something strange when nobody in your family wants anything to do with you. Nobody. Not a cousin, not a distant aunt, not a second and third uncle, no one. And they know you're living on the street. There's a reason. Now I'm not going to say 100% of the time. But there's something about your lifestyle, your behavior, something that has you isolated from the very people. Now, some people have no one, like they don't exist. But Caitlin, Tim, Skylin, Kate, all of them have nobody else to rely on but strangers. And then they say, you're my family. You're their family as long as you're sending money. Correct. What's your name? Nita? Nita Sanchez. 110%. And then she told them she hasn't eaten in 3 days. So you mean to tell me the person whose garage you're in let you sit there and not eat? Did they not eat for 3 days? And you've been in Utah for how long? 2 years, and you don't have EBT? Because I know you have medical because you went to the ER and didn't say that they sent you a bill or you're going to have a big bill or something like that. You would qualify. You're a citizen. You're homeless. The new law didn't go into effect until January the 1st. So how haven't you eaten in 3 days? But you take care of your dogs. Correct. We know why. Something isn't right about it. And she uses that filter to its nth degree, let me tell you. Nope, haven't done to me. Welcome in to new people I haven't seen before. I see some of you here. Welcome. This is the Raising the Consciousness Live, where I talk about 6 to 9 people who are taking advantage of others, of their kindness. She modded you? Wow. So if you would like to be a member of the team, join the team with the Daily Heart Me. If not, stick around. And if you like what you see, join the team. The only thing I ask is that every time I change the photo, you like the live until you feel the heart's tail, and then take a break. And welcome in. Let's do Portia. Portia has been around, I'm sorry, for a very long time. She is a professional at getting other people to pay her way. Now, she had just gotten people to take her and her kids one direction, got there and needed another direction back, and needed people to pay for it. She has had issues with warrants, DCF. Her child had a warrant. You name it. And guess what? We are right back here again where she has to deal with the police and DCF. Girl, how many times? And yet, she sits on her live and claims to be the best at everything. Nobody can tell her nothing. She knows everything about everything, but she needs your money to do it. She had a husband at one point who she claimed they was bringing in $2,000 a month in Social Security disability checks. She said he had 2 different checks coming. And yet still needed people on TikTok. And now she's saying I'm still best. Her look who's winning now. Baby girl, not you. Not if you have to deal with the police and DCF. And she even said, somebody was like, "Oh, you're smiling." And she was like, "I got to force myself to smile. Because what I'm about to go through, I'm not going to be able to smile." First of all, why are you telling us all your business? Because when I then talk about it, you say I need to mind my business. Well, I can't mind business I don't know about. Everybody that I discuss, I put their name and their at in the center of the screen because I always say you don't have to believe me. Go watch them for yourself. Oh, I talked about Money Bees on Friday. I have a YouTube channel, Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word. And you can see, Debbie, where I not only reveal the lie of the fridge, but who she really is. She's lying. Let me tell you what she said. She said the other day she doesn't send her kids to school hungry. When we know that most schools now give breakfast and lunch. Why, if your children are hungry, would you not send them to school? So not only are you depriving them of education, you're depriving them of meals. Oh, let me hold on, y'all. Hold on. Thank you for bringing her up because I just remembered something. Sorry, y'all. A little detour. I apologize for for the delay. Thank you for bringing her up. This is the woman who uses a photo of her refrigerator to beg for money, saying that her kids haven't eaten for days. All right, Debbie. So why wouldn't you send your children to school? Let me tell y'all how I know that either somebody sent her a clip or she was in here watching. So the other day I said on the live that usually when children are hungry, they don't let it go. They don't just go to their room and sit down. They're like, Mom, I'm hungry. What are we going to do? Tell me if she wasn't live the other day and her daughter came in and was like, Mommy, I'm hungry. Can't we go to the corner store? Can't we go to the gas station? And she's like, Honey, I'm trying to do what I could do. There's nothing I could do. I'm trying. I'm trying to get money. And then the daughter was like, Can't we sell water? And she was like, We don't have any more water. Your sink don't have no water in it? Then she was like, Well, can't we sell milk? And she's like, Nobody's going to buy milk. She's like, Well, we could freeze it and blah, blah. Yo, I probably scared the cats because I was sitting here cracking up. Cracking up. And somebody was like, Why do you have your daughter on here like that? And she was like, Why can't my daughter? And this is her daughter. Because I have a voice. You don't sound hungry, baby. You sound like y'all are acting. Mind you, she had muted herself most of that live before that. So why didn't you mute when your daughter came in that time? Because when you told her to do something earlier, it was muted. Yo, when I tell you, I hollered. I was like, y'all tell me not to be worried about y'all, but y'all are surely showing me that you watch me. It was hilarious. Okay, Fiona. And when she was asked why she's showing a picture, she was like, because my electric bill is high. Picture me leaving my refrigerator door open just to do this. Well, girl, if that's the case, why don't you take a picture of your refrigerator every day? Why has it been the same picture for like what, 2 weeks? But she should be getting her EBT soon. What was it? Let me go back and see. This is why I have notes. Oh, she'll be getting her EBT on the 15th. 4 more days. Wait, four? 1, 2, 3. 3 more days after today. So I don't expect to see you on live with your refrigerator open. Butterfly or Peaches or Money Bees, whatever name you want to go by. Miss Coffee, you just come in. Oh, you're telling them if they just come in. I'm like, I thought I saw you. Yes, welcome in anybody who may have come in here and they are new. Girl, really? But I'll be watching on the 15th. Because if you come live with that picture on that refrigerator, I'm going to blast the hell out of you. I'm going to blast it. No, you know why CPS doesn't need to go? Because that would be a waste of their resources. Her refrigerator is not empty. But if you want to see the kind of fuller picture that I showed on Friday, you can watch it on my YouTube. It's from this past Friday's live. Right now, Josh and Ida are on with their Cash App or they've been back. I stopped caring. No, I shouldn't say stop caring, but they're old news. And as long as they weren't getting big money, I didn't care. Okay, I'll go check it out. They are on now? Oh, well, okay. They always find a reason to need help. Of course, she's using an empty fridge to make money. Okay, today's motivation. Health does not always come from medicine. Most of the time, it comes from peace of mind, peace in the heart, peace of the soul. Sometimes it comes from laughter and love. Good morning. If you are always looking for a prescription or a bottle to fix everything, you have missed nature's healing. Sometimes and when I'm talking about a bottle, I mean a medicine bottle. I always say, protect your peace. You have no idea the benefits of protecting your peace until you do it. Some of us feel like we have to be in the midst of everything or else we won't have a life. When you have a peaceful life, you don't even want to go outside. Forget about being in the midst of nonsense. But most of us have to get to a certain age before we appreciate that. Do your children and your great and your grandchildren a favor and start teaching them that early. That peace of mind is more important than anything. All right, back to it. Who's next? Meeks Bell. Let me find her page. And yes, I do take notes for anybody wondering, because I would rather be accurate than right. So I take notes so I can remain accurate. Correct. She is back. Miss Meeks Bell has been begging going all the way back to 2023 on TikTok. Carlene, you know what you do, baby? You put that part of what's going on in a box. I like to say that in my head, it's like a library of boxes. And when there's something going on about a specific situation, it gets its own box. And it goes in the box. And I can close the box at any time. And the reason for that is otherwise I would be overwhelmed by everything happening. And you can't help overwhelming things happening because you can't control everything that happens around you. But you can control how much power you give it in your life. Put it in a box in your mind that every once in a while you can close so that you can go and be at peace regardless of what's happening. Because you can't fix it, you can't change it. He has to. So when you want peace of mind, start with 5 minutes of self-care, put it in the box, close the box and say, I'm going to give myself a facial. I'm going to take a everything shower. I'm going to watch something funny. I'm going to read a book. I am going to meditate. 5 minutes. And eventually you can increase it enough that you can close the box whenever you're not dealing with it. And the rest of your life can remain peaceful. Yeah, I heard that, Silver Sweet. Hey, the haters, because they ain't us. Okay, back to Meeks Bell. It should be Nika. I'm sorry. I don't know why I wrote Meeks. Anyway, it should be Nika, Neeka. It was probably an autocorrect. But Beyond Beauty 76 is her at. You will be able to find her. I apologize for the error. Thank you. Yes, please pin that, Miss Coffee, so people can get the right name. But Beyond Beauty 76 is accurate. So she's been begging here since 2022, 2023. Now, I came along right after her husband passed away. And let me be clear, that might not have been the first time I saw her, but she changes her name frequently. So what I remember is soon after her husband passed away and having lost a spouse, I automatically connect because I lost a spouse. And she seemed devastated. Her husband passed away August of 2025. And I'm not in a position to tell anybody how long they can grieve. But my husband passed away. I was 25 with a 6-year-old. And I was working full time. I took a week off and went back to work. And every Saturday and Sunday, I laid in the bed and cried all day, half the night. And then I'd wake up Monday morning and pull myself together and go to work. because I had a 6-year-old to take care of. I was responsible for his medical insurance. I was responsible for his clothes. I was responsible for his well being. I couldn't just fall apart. I wanted to, but I couldn't. She has used the death of her husband to up her bed game. Literally, she needed a room every day. She needed food. She needed this. She had a car, but it wasn't in good working order. But I can understand your spouse passes away. If he was the only one working, it could be devastating. And what is a notorious problem in the Black community is a lack of life insurance. It is a huge lack in the Black community. But when I saw the pictures of the funeral cars, she didn't just do a cremation and then the house had a pastor talk. He had a complete and full service. How that got paid for, I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me, Kashana, but I didn't want to say it. His family paid for the service. It seemed to me like they were newlyweds. But you would think that they had been together for 30 years. Anyway, I just didn't want to say it because I didn't know for sure. Since his passing, she has had all these ideas, all these plans, made all these promises to people who were giving her money, and none of it ever came to fruition. And then I see her the other day with this new plan. Did I write that she was going to Fayetteville? She had a job and she was going to be able to live with her aunt. Oh, welcome in, Oregon. So they paid for her every need to get to Fayetteville. Really, Sanji? Welp, makes sense. They paid for everything for her to get to this new life. She was there for 5 days. Now, again, she claimed she had a job. I don't know if she ever showed proof of said job. She was there for 5 days, worked 3 of those 5 days, according to her. And then the aunt's daughter came, had all her stuff packed, and told her she had to get out, that her mother wasn't in any sort of a condition to agree to let her move in. But of course, we have no proof that that's how that happened. That's just what she said. She comes live when the cousin drops her off at the train station. I'm sorry, she comes live in the train station saying that the cousin, her aunt's daughter, dropped her off at the train station and she needs a ticket. Now, if you just dropped off at the train station, how do you know where you're going? Well, she had a story that she found a bed at a shelter in Rocky Mount. And now she needs the ticket. The ticket was $35. And this is her. If I don't get on the 1150, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be stuck. And then she kept showing, she was like, look at how she did my stuff. Well, how did you get it there? And then someone asked about her car, and she said, my car can't go that far. Now, she did buy the ticket. She proved it. She showed the ticket. No sooner did she get the money for the ticket, we had another beg. It was like a Maggie situation where she had the list ready, but she wanted to only beg for one thing at a time. So no sooner does she get the ticket to the place she's going, she says, and I don't know how I'm going to get to the shelter once I get there. So now we need Uber money. And I'm sure she wanted something to eat. Because that always is a part of the bag. Is she's hungry. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. There is something up when you go home. They're both from North Carolina. You go home to lay him to rest. You stay there. His family don't want nothing to do with you, and your family don't want nothing to do with you. There's a reason. Because I'm going to tell you something. Most black families, not all, not every single one, but most black families maintain connection. When they cut you off, they have cut you off for a reason. It's not just because you're the black sheep of the family. They've cut you off for a reason. And if her sister revealed that she was an addict, that would be one. Because addicts constantly need money. And they steal stuff out your house. Suddenly money is missing and nobody knows why. Is that why your cousin came and said get out? Because you wasn't going to take advantage of her mama? Correct, Miss Coffee. And you just lost your husband last year and we don't want nothing to do with you? Yeah, Timmy Nash and his $35 bus pass, claiming they're not in Chattanooga. Listen, in real time. Wait, I'll wait till I get to him. Your stepson stole your son's ATM card. When you're an addict, you'll do almost anything to get the next fix. It is why most professionals will tell family to cut them off. Because if you don't cut them off, you feel bad. They'll say, I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm outside. They'll tell you what they need money for, everything else besides what they're going to use it for. So to get out of that cycle, they'll tell you, cut them off. Now, does that work for everybody? No. But do you notice that since Lisa's family has cut her off, her father's health has improved? So if y'all have never seen her or thought she was gone and wasn't coming back, here she is. So I wonder if we'll see her in a shelter or a hotel room. Because she knows how to beg for a hotel room every day. And if you had a job, why would you leave the area that you have the job in? Of course she got on from church. Of course. She be playing church music and praising God and praying online. Y'all know how I feel about my holy rollers. and them using God. I can't stand it. But they also are very quick to get a church community. You want to know why? Because once they're a part of a church community, they can take advantage of the church community. So I'll be watching. I say it all the time. The Bible, the devil knows the Bible better than we do. He knows exactly what to say and how to manipulate. I say it all the time. That's why I call them my holy rollers. They only talk about the parts of the Bible that fit the narrative. And for anybody who's looking for an example, in the Bible, the Jewish people, the Israelites, were told by God that if you grow food, you have to leave, I think it was a tenth. They had to leave that for the sick, the poor, the fatherless children, the widows. But they had to come and get it themselves. Because there is something about having to work for it yourself that provides you a sense of dignity. It wasn't just a handout. So they can use the part where, well, God left it so that people could be taken care of. He did, but you also had to go work for it. You had to go get it. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. Just like they say, if a closed mouth don't get fed, if you don't work, you don't eat. So quote the whole Bible and not just the parts that fit your narrative. Sorry, you can't play that with me. You might be able to play that with people who don't know the Bible or people who don't believe and don't have a clue. Not with me, baby. Not over here. I hate when they say that too. Because why don't you open your mouth and get a job? If your mouth game is so good, use it to make money and not beg for it. She went live from church. Absolutely hilarious. They all feel like, help me understand this, because there was somebody in Cake's live. Wait, I wrote it down too. Where is it? Mind you, this is the person's name. Timu Drewski 7. They're not even a mod, but they were telling people she needs her room and food money. Why are you begging for another human being? You're not even begging for yourself. You're begging for another human being. Why? They say we're weird. That's weird to me. How is it that they expect other people to go to work every day, pay their bills, but whatever extra they may have to send it to somebody that they don't even know? You thought who was at a shelter? Nika? She may be. But my question is, you get a job in Fayetteville, you work there for 3 days, and then you leave the area after 3 days? Her people been paying for a hotel, so why didn't she ask for a hotel? At least there she had a job, and in a couple of weeks she could get paid. No, she left to go to a new area with a shelter. So was there a job? Or are we gonna get a new job? Do you know how many jobs she's had on this app in these last few years? Yep, Nikki, that's what she said. But she didn't show none of that, did she? She just showed us with her. Where's the car? Oh, the car can't get there. I need $35. And then I need money to get to the shelter. She'll be begging today. Don't worry. Or tomorrow. She not done. Wow, Sanji. Really? Yep, that's what I'm talking about. The Amtrak ticket. Am I gonna do Timmy next? Hold on. Sorry, can't do Timmy next. Cody is back. I'm sorry, Kira. I just scared the crap out of Kira. Cody is back. And straight out the gate. Now, she's been live a few times. Yes, thank you. Can you pin that, Miss Coffee? For anybody who's ever wanted to watch any of my lives, they are done by playlist. So you can literally go to January 2026 and see the lives that I've done this month. I'm back to being able to post them in a timely manner. I apologize. I had to do a lot of work in my phone so that I had the room to do it. But that is my YouTube channel. All one word. So Cody is back. And when she went live yesterday, literally there might have been a couple of people in there. And she literally started off with, you guys know we have an Amazon wish list from Christmas and school. I haven't updated it yet, but if anybody would like to send anything to the kids, and don't forget the daughter that's in the group home. Did you not just have Christmas? Did you not just beg people for gifts and money for Christmas? And we're at the beginning of January and you're already begging for the Amazon wish list? Now we know a birthday is coming because last year, January, they paid for that child's birthday from the decorations, the cake, and the gifts. Bought him a tablet. And I told y'all that was not going to end well. But of course it didn't. Now, she said, wait a minute. She said that her oldest, that just turned 16, wants to buy a game, but they can't afford it. And she said, he doesn't ask for anything. Now, I got two comments about that. Didn't people just give you money for his 16th birthday party the other day? Right before Christmas, he had a Sweet 16 party. What? And you're already asking for him to get a game that somebody else will pay for? He had his Sweet 16 and Christmas. And let's not forget his homecoming. That was in what? The beginning of December? He might not have asked for it, but you did. But this is what cracked me up. So she's making dinner. I think it was like breakfast for dinner, which I love. I love breakfast for dinner. And the cat gets on the counter. Now, this oldest, who's this never asked for anything, she tries to get the cat off the counter herself, but her hands are clean to cook. So she doesn't want to touch the cat with her hands. She turns to her oldest and says, can you get the cat? You would think after his homecoming, his birthday, and Christmas, he would jump to attention. Did he? No. He sat right there. He called the cat. I think the cat's name is Loki. Calls the cat and never moves. She has to, with her arms, get the cat off the counter. Thank you, Nancy. And in that same moment, you look in the camera and ask for an Amazon wish list and a game for him. I would have turned to him and said, I just asked these people to help me get something for you, and you couldn't even help me get the cat off the counter? She is so accustomed to just asking other people to create a life for her family that she can't support herself, that it doesn't even matter. Her kids are so out of hand that she has to tell them I'm live because of the nonsense they pull on a regular basis. She doesn't have that house under control at all, and yet beg for everything. And her Amazon wish list isn't just for the kids. It's snacks, drinks. It's also laundry detergent, mops, stuff she should be getting herself. But she's not. Her original excuse for why she couldn't get a job was because she had to be available to her daughter 24/7. The daughter's not there now. The daughter is in a group home. They have custody of her. And now she has a sore back. Somebody make sense of that for me. You walk for miles every day. You go to stores every day. I watch you sit online for 2 hours cooking and talking. You could do that at McDonald's. And there is nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. Everybody got to start somewhere. I'm sick and tired of women laying on their back, having all of these kids, and then deciding, I'm going to be a stay at home mom, even though I can't afford it. And I'm going to beg other people who go to work every day for their money to take care of the kids that I laid down and had. And she doesn't want her kids to just have clothes. She wants it to be designer. $125 sneakers. $170 sneakers. To the tune of an $8,000 Amazon wish list. You got it. The queen of dry begging. So she took a minute break and got right back to begging. And she'll be like, I don't want to ask because I don't want them to call me a beggar. Then stop asking. Take down your $8,000 Amazon wish list. And she's like, I don't understand the problem. It's just a wish list. It's a wish that you. This is the thing. Children don't understand. So you had your children sit down and pick from Amazon what they wanted. Do you think that them picking it told them, well, it's what I want, but we probably won't get it? No, they think it's on the Amazon wish list. Somebody's going to buy it. The problem is, it's not going to be you. So we'll wait and see. I'll be watching as usual. And the grid is almost always open. She probably does, Linda. I believe she also gets disability checks for some of the kids. Everybody's favorite, Timmy Nashi. Since he hates to be called Timmy, and because you don't take care of yourself, Timmy, you don't get to be called Mr. Nash or Timothy. You're Timmy to me because you act like a child. She does have them expecting it, Jane Doe. So what can we say about Timmy Nashi? So I already proved that in Chattanooga, a weekly bus pass is $15. But then he said, because people were like, well, with $10, you could buy a one-way bus pass. And he said, it's not enough for me to take the money off. I got to pay cash. So in real time, I did a quick Google search. Can you pay for a ticket, a bus ticket in Chattanooga with a card? I mean, with a phone. Because he doesn't have a card because he's homeless. And of course you can. Yes, I did hear the car door open and close. I don't know if it's hers or somebody they know, but I did hear it. And if you recall, he said originally that he wasn't going to take the job if he didn't have a bus pass for a week. Now, he got $15 the very first night, right? But did he use it for a bus pass to go to work? No. He said somebody gave him a ride. So somebody gave you the ride for the first day of work. They wouldn't give you a ride for the second day of work? I know, Dawn. I was the one that proved that it was $15. Or I think I was the first person to show it. I won't say that I was the only person to show it. But you got a ride the first night. So what happened to that $15? And after he got $10, in order to pay cash, you have to have a certain amount in order to take it out of the ATM. When he got $10 the second night and he came back, if you couldn't tell that he was high as a kite, you were as blind. Who was the blind singer? Not Stevie Wonder. Even though they say Stevie Wonder can really see. He blind as Stevie Wonder. What hurt my heart though is when he ended up getting the other $25. There was a woman live, and I never seen her before, but fuck it was in her box, which is why I stayed. And she literally was crying that he got the money. And she even said, I don't understand why I'm crying, but, and I can't remember what she said, but I remember thinking, this man is so disgusting that he has us so frustrated that we're shedding tears about him getting money. And maybe it was pain knowing what he was going to use it for and what might happen. Because some of these people know exactly what he's using the money for and they're sending it anyway. So are you hoping for an overdose? Do you get joy out of seeing him high online? Because we know where he is. Y'all know where he is. Y'all know he's lying when he says he's not in Tennessee anymore. In fact, if you go to having a senior moments page, she actually has a map, and it's the cutest thing because she walks from where he's staying to the mission where he's able to get food, clothes, resources, you name it. And that is the walk that he takes every day. And the dog barks without fail unless he's standing still. He isn't even smart enough to go in the other direction because he's always going to take the shortest route. Tennessee girl. At one point, he said he was going south to be in warmer weather. And then one of his mods or enablers talked about no, no, no. Somebody was saying that they get certain benefits. And they said, I'm in California. And he said, we're coming in your direction. So is it south or is it west? Which one is it, Timmy? The people who sit in there and mod for you might not be paying attention, but I am. We are. We know, Debbie. They are. And what I hope is if he does ever get bad stuff, if he ever ODs again, because we know when the woman gave him $300, he OD'd before, and he's calling that his sober date. That the feds, the police, come look at his social media. They look at his payment apps. And by the way, he has a new CA. Did we get it taken down yet? The new CA is The Shit Show 2420 reporting. It's power, it's loneliness, it's not having. They talk about how we don't have a life. The fact that you are available 24/7 anytime he decides to go live means you don't have a life. Because around here, we're scheduled. The mods know that when I'm going live, they know I'm going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in digital after dark. They're not just on standby for whenever. So the fact that your mods can be there at every live, at every turn, y'all don't have a life. The fact that you sit there and defend an individual who is taking money, yes, they're adults, but they are giving money under false pretenses. And I've heard some mods say, well, if they're stupid enough to give their money, but you are encouraging it. You are blocking the truth. You are blocking any dissent so that the people who come in there who are unfamiliar give their money and you've done your job. There was an ex-mod that came to Seniors Live and was like, well, I've never given him money. Yes, I've blocked, but I don't understand. You blocked knowing it was the truth because you had the power to do so. You also had the power to not block them, but you chose to do it anyway, knowing that you knew he was lying. Again, when did we become so permissive that lying, manipulating, scamming, using the money for rugs is an acceptable activity? When did that become what we want to be known for? The fact that you're modding for him means that when people see your name and your face and your profile photo and you're modding for him, then you must know that he's on the up and up. When people do show dissent and you block it, it makes people believe that the people telling the truth must be lying. And especially when he's like, goodbye, goodbye. I don't know how people get bots that can't be blocked, but that's the only time there's nothing they can do. And I'm sure that costs money. So no, you don't get a pat on the back from me for not giving him money. You helped him get money from other people. So glad you woke up and are no longer modding now. She did reveal that there's no mod chat and that the mods get nothing for it. So why are you in Canada fighting hard to see that he gets the money? Huh? There isn't a poor person in Canada that could use your assistance? No, you sit online and wait for an addict to go live so you can mod for him. Make that make sense, but we don't have no life. We have nothing to do. Yes, Carlene, we know. We've been coming. You haven't come across any scammers in Canada. Let me introduce you to one. Here's one from Canada. Miss Keisha Smith. Go follow her. She goes live and shows the temperature and begs for hotel rooms, even though she could live with her mama. But she likes to be in hotel rooms with her boyfriend. When he wasn't around, she had a job. She was living with her mom. She was doing great. And I believe rugs are involved in this one as well. I got one in Australia and one in the UK. This is a worldwide problem. I got people in Canada asking how can they support them? What can they use? I'm like, you don't got no poor people in Canada that could use your assistance? You fighting tooth and nail to send money to an addict in the US? And wears designer clothes, 110%. Got a big, huge Louis Vuitton bag, but she needs your money to put her in a hotel room. Y'all are kidding. Oh, dang, we passed the time. Christina, hers would be too long for me to go into thoroughly. But you are one bad decision after another from finding yourself locked up. Keep playing games. Keep playing games, man. And overusing your meds. Talking about you can't sleep at night. Okay. Um, Let me just explain this. My email is digitaldeceivers@gmail.com. My Instagram is Digital Deceiver Shadow. My YouTube is Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word on YouTube. If you're looking for me, look up Digital Deceiver Shadow. Yeah, her eyebrows drive me nuts sometimes too. I end up staring at them instead of her face. But whether she had full eyebrows or none, she's a scammer. And we see that she scams the people in her life. And now again, we got somebody else who has family that has cut them off. She has 6 children and doesn't have a relationship with any of them, but she was concerned about having a relationship with a 20-year-old. Her oldest child is almost 20. I think her oldest is what, 16? Yep, sure did. Broke into an apartment she don't have no business in, and she certainly had no business having her ex-boyfriend there. And then talking about getting an RO from her cousin by marriage. Go ahead and do it. What will be the excuse? I did already talk about Caitlyn. Yeah, she's living there. But his dad, who's the apartment's in his name, has already filed for her eviction. So either she's going to leave. Now she's supposed to be going to Chicago. Girl, if you think Chicago is an easy place to live, I'm going to wait and watch. Talk about they have more resources, they have more shelters, and they have more homeless, bright one. But go ahead. At least the former mod in Texas changed her mind. And as soon as she did, Christine was like, I don't have support from anybody. You could have. You had all of our support when you were living in that housing situation and you walked away from Caden. You had all of our support. And then you showed us who you really are, and now it's gone. Do not cry about it now. Why would I support somebody continuing to make one bad decision after another and then makes a decision and then cries to us about the decision? You're not 20. You're not even 30. The one important thing is that you are thought I recognized that. KTP, whatever, whatever. I saw, are you here right now? KTPW blah blah blah. Your name doesn't make sense to me, so there's like no way to say it. Those are the first initials of your name. Are you here right now? Because I know you've been here. I saw you comment earlier. Oh, KTP dog. Are you here? Let me know. If y'all see him, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation. And by the way, I reached out to Darlene, who was called out the other day, who skated, because she's supporting. Well, let me change that. She has been communicating with a registered ex offender. And she said, out of respect for me, she was going to stop communicating in there, but that she didn't want to get blocked. The fact that you're fighting hard to be in an ex offender's chat, I let her know that does not make sense to me at all. What so great could happen in their chat that you even want to be in there? You would even want your face showing up in his life. Yes, Sherry. But I told her she's grown. It's her decision. I agree with you, Kelly. My problem is that no matter what, she will still get new people to mod for her because people are dying to mod. So within time, she'll get new ones because all the old ones left too. And that is why I continue to do what I do. As soon as you give her money, you can be a mod. But the moment you can't keep giving her money, y'all won't be friends any longer. Yep. But that's okay. She'll keep doing what she's doing, and we will keep doing what we are doing. Thank you, Dawn. I welcome everybody here who's new. I would do this whether there were 300 or 5. Modding is okay when you're modding for the right person. I mod for Mister. It's a thankless job. Everything, Bianca. She needs money to eat, money to travel, money to go someplace new, money for medicine, money for ER visits, even though they're covered, money for anything. She doesn't need money for feminine products though, because she doesn't have one, even though every other week she's claiming to be pregnant by Kaden, a child. She needs nothing. She wants everything, but she's not willing to get a job to get it. Somebody paid her a $60 phone bill the other day. Kaden goes to court today. Well, we'll either find out tonight or tomorrow morning the adjudication of that, because he's going to pay for that warrant for not going to court because she told him not to. That's a really nice person. That's somebody who loves you, who convinces you to leave your area when he just had to wait like 3 or 4 days go to court, and he probably wouldn't have had another court date for a month. They could have been together, but no. That tells you who she is. She's conniving. Yes, apparently Felicia left her last night. Well, KTP dog will be here probably Wednesday. We'll have a chat then. Anyway, people, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for waking up with me early on a Monday morning. I hope you enjoyed it. You take what you gained from here and you share it to people to let them know to please keep your money in your pocket. They will never have enough, but they will take you until you have nothing. Please be kind to the people you reach out to, and understand that we are able to do what we are able to do because of the things that you do. I appreciate you all. Please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. And please take some time today to do some self-care, whatever that looks like for you. If you can't do 15 minutes, do 10. If you can't do 10, do 5. And if you can't do 5, take 1 minute and just close your eyes and think about the most beautiful place or the happiest moment and live in that for just 1 minute.
Good morning.
Good morning, MLA.
How y'all doing?
We're good.
I like what you just said on self care. I'm enjoying my self care. I'm out here in this 40 degrees weather riding a motorcycle. And I'm going to tell you something, that self care is the most beautiful thing in the world. I just want to say thank you for saying that.
Thank you. And
Dude,
I hope you're enjoying your ride.
girl, when that wind hit you through the ears and that wind hit you through the face, nobody can't tell you nothing. You don't hear nothing but yourself. You think about everything in your mind, whatever running through it, it feels good. Self-care is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. Self-care don't have to always be in the house. Self-care could be just going outside and walk around the house. Self-care
Mm-hmm.
can just giving praise to yourself. Self-care can be just lying in the bed, just breathing in and out. That's what self-care is. But some of these beggars and scammers, they get it mixed up. They thinking it's always, oh, we got to go out and get our hair done. No, self-care can just be simple stuff. Get on a
Mm-hmm.
bicycle. If I had a skateboard, I'll do it too. If I had skates, I'll do. Self-care is the most important thing. It's the mind of the body.
Correct. And as the thing said earlier, some of the healthiest things to do are to give yourself peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Stop looking in the bottle.
Exactly. And I want to say this before I drop. People, these beggars, they always trying to hit your page. Let me tell you something. You should want to keep us up on your page because you want to know what we're doing. I heard something yesterday on Takanika, how you say that girl name? I don't want to say Zim. I want to say her real name.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, she had all those women on that panel, her mods, and I hope somebody over here listening to me, please understand this. Y'all sitting up there telling her y'all got a house, y'all got this much money in y'all account, but how, I'm gonna just say Zim. I can't say her name right now. Let me tell you something. You are silly just to have them women sitting on your panel, and they can't even give you $10 to go get you something for your daughter or your son. I don't want nobody I'm calling friends sitting up on my panel can't help me. This woman kept saying, her name Boss Lady kept saying, oh, I got 2 mortgages. I got a car. That lady that she talking about, that lady talking about she paid $2,500 to put them lights on her car. She is telling a bull-faced tale because I have those same lights on my motorcycle. If she paid $2,500, I need to know who the installer is. Them people sitting up on her panel, they are not her friend.
Of course not. They just
They're,
like being seen, and then they try to grab an audience so that they can go live.
yeah. Them lady, all them women's up on, and God knows if anybody just listen to the sound of my voice, I'm not yelling because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. Don't everybody know when I go to work, I done took off work because I'm out here in the world just taking care of myself, feeling good about myself. Don't everybody know that when I tell y'all I'm at work, that I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning? The one little girl with the little yellow background says, oh, I be up every morning talking about her. I go
No,
to
you
work.
don't. Right. Most of the time you go live, it's in the evening.
And sometimes if I go live in the morning, it be like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I be like on for 30 minutes till I get to work. I don't go
Right.
live. I don't go live every morning on her. I hate to tell her, baby, I work. And all them women, I pray to God that whoever is in your life right now, please stop playing on her face. Stop saying you got that much money in your account. And if you did have that much money in your account, you'll be a friend enough to say, hey, let me shoot you $2,000. Let me help you get up on your feet for a minute so you can stop begging. She so-called did her hair and put on that one nasty suit she had on, looking a hot blessing mess.
Listen though, whoever she's having that beef with, I can't think of her name, Tanika, whatever that woman's name is that she's having beef with, who she was like, I could show you my house. And the girl was like, well then show it if it's not dusty. And they've been going back and forth. She's not a part of this community. She is tearing Zim up. And Zim cannot take it.
I believe you. And another thing, and I'm going to say y'all have a wonderful day, and this is my last word. I'm out here to a bike event, and I was doing a screaming, and P. Lewis was on my live talking. We were just, back and forth. And it was like what that was, Saturday night was Sunday morning, because I had to get some sleep before we start riding again, because we don't want to get out there and get hurt.
Right.
And these guys was listening to Zim and Tish. Them guys were tearing them. They want to get on the live and say something. These are grown men. If y'all know bikers, the bike guys, them guys was eating them up and saying, who is that woman? She sound like a fool. When I tell you grown men was talking nasty, degrading Zim and Tish and all the women was on the panel, the men said I would never they even downloaded TikTok and started watching them. I mean, they were, when I say they talking about, I wouldn't have it was not, when I tell you, if anybody know about the bike world, the Outcasts, the Kings of the South, the Rough Breeds, the Rough Riders, we was all out there. If it was North Carolina was out there, South Carolina was out there, Georgia was out there, Florida was out there. We had some for New Orleans out there. And these guys were talking about them. I mean, they were just railroading them. I said, Lord, I pray to God that they don't never see me out there like that. When I tell you, the men, these grown men that drive trucks or have a professional job, Tish, I hope you listen to me, baby. You got a bad name out there.
And they think that they're doing something.
It don't look good. These men that I be like, dang, can I marry you? I'm serious. I'm talking real. I'm talking real G. These are real nice looking tall dudes looking good. Classy guys. I mean, making big money. And they up there talking about these women, lowering them to the dirt. They were throwing dirt on their name.
Which is why that they don't have real men, because real men wouldn't tolerate the nonsense that they do.
Tish, I hate to tell you, baby. I hate to tell you, baby. To be honest with you, To be honest with you, girl, if I was you, I would never unpart my mouth. All of them, I wouldn't even never say nothing no more. I wouldn't want to never get on TikTok no more.
She's not talking about Tishy Wishy. She's talking about somebody that rides with them.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna end the live, but when MLA
Okay,
always lets
I'm
me in
done.
her
That's all I
box,
had to say.
I'm gonna let her in mine. Y'all calm down.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All
That's all I
right,
had to say.
love you. Okay,
All
thank
right,
you, girl. You
bye-bye.
know you always have a box here.
You welcome. Bye-bye.
So yeah. Again, if I don't see you in the streets, I will see you Wednesday morning. And I'm going to end this because I think that Christina thinks we're in another place and another time. So this is a shout out to her. Echo. Now he can't hear me. Echo. Please play 1999 by Prince.
Here's 1999 by Prince on Amazon Music.
Everybody have a great day. I'll see you Wednesday morning.